So let's jump into module 3, story interactions. We touched on this before, but stories I want as a whole module to be able to jump in and really explain it in a deeper level, just because most of the people out there don't really use them to their full potential. So what are you going to learn in this module? The key mindset shift that unlocks this part of the system, the practical steps you can take immediately on your own account, how this module connects to the rest of your funnel and monetization, how you get sales, how you get more followers, etc. The stories are an incredible, powerful piece of Instagram. So this is what we're going to be talking about in this module. Stories help you get seen more. Now, we touched on it about putting the polls, and any interaction will help your reels go up the feed. But what else can you do in the stories to be able to get seen more? Now, if you're posting really boring content in your stories and you're just trying to fill the stories on a daily basis, this is going to impact the rest of your account as well. Because if somebody doesn't interact with your story, that tells Instagram that your reels or your whole account isn't interesting to them. So it's then going to drop down. So this is why it's so important to use the stories to maximize the engagement and also the message that you want to get out there as well. Try and get in front of the camera as much as possible and generally talk to your followers. It's difficult when you first start off, but if you manage it, just get in front, speak to your followers, and then they're going to be able to see a little bit more behind the scenes, who you are behind the main content as well. A great thing as well in the stories is feedback. Get as much feedback as you can as possible. Like put on a poll, like, would you like me to post this, this, or this? And people will actually select it. I like to do it a lot with books, for example. I'll put 2 books on there and be like, left or right, or which one would you choose? And people engage with it. And then I will start talking a little bit more about that topic. So be clever about it, but use the stories to figure out what your followers want and also want to buy as well. And it's great to get them into a sales funnel. So anyone who likes a story about a specific thing, you'll be able to then retarget that person, send them a DM and be like, hey, look, you interacted with the story. You know, are you looking to buy the mini course or anything like that? But give them the option to interact with it. If you're just putting a blank image or a blank video with no call to action, people won't engage with it really. They might like it or view it and that's it. But if you tell people or give them an easy way to interact with that post, most people will. So start adding them buttons, start adding them polls, and see how much engagement you will start to get on the rest of your profile. One small story can equal big, big reach. And it's as easy as just putting something like this. How's your Monday going? And a slider with a happy face. You'll be surprised at how many people start to slide this. And as soon as they do this, you know, you do a couple of days of things that are going to get people interacting, then start posting and DM me on my personal Instagram account if I'm wrong. Try this for a couple of days and tell me how much your account exploded. So if you're really struggling, you've got really low follower engagement and also post engagement, this will be because when you do post a story that you're going to be really far down the line. But as soon as people start to use them sliders, you're going to creep up. So every single time you post a story, you're going to be at the top of that person's feed. The more value you give them, then your posts go up. I keep saying the same thing, but this is why it's so important using all these. So just a very, very simple story. If you don't have anything to post in the day and you just don't know what, but you need to get something out there, do something as simple as this. The simple things compound over time and then help you grow. So I want everyone doing this course right now to put that on their story after we finish. Please don't do it now. Listen to me. And you will definitely see an increase in your story engagement and your post engagement as well. I'm really interested. So make sure you do DM me and show me the stats before and after, because I'm really interested to see how well this is done. Because a few of my friends that I've been doing it with and clients, they have like 5-10x their engagement. I've tried this multiple times on so many different accounts. It works every single time. So I'm looking forward to it. Make sure you do this one. Ask easy questions that get taps. Interactions. Instagram doesn't care It just wants an interaction. So let's go into kind of what questions you can ask just to kind of trigger it, because some of you are like, yeah, but what do I put? So this is what we're going to talk about. Would you try this? This could be a new product. This could be a new dish. This could be anything that you've got. That yes or no tap tells Instagram that that person's interested, and you're going to get the feedback for your business as well. I had multiple restaurants, bars and restaurants back a few years ago. And before even bringing out a new beer, a new wine, a new recipe or anything like that, I used to throw everything into the stories and get the feedback, because even though I thought it was a great idea and people wanted it, my stories told me that it wasn't. So I'm getting feedback, I'm getting more engagement, and I'm building a better product for actually what my customers want as well. So this is why it's so important to get that feedback as well. Pick, A or B. As you can see, every single one here is just super easy. If you start to put like 4 or 5 things, where is the best location that you've ever been on holiday? And people have to type it out. They're not gonna. You need to make it easy for people. Just a click of a button, and then the engagement will come as well. A few other things I was mentioned, I really like to do kind of posts that either trigger certain people, not negatively, but about football, about locations, generally about anything. Like, what works really well is trending topics right now. Do you know, there was one, we tried it in one of the bars and restaurants that I had, and I actually transferred this onto social media. And it was when Johnny Depp was going through with Amanda Heard, I think it was. So they put 2 tip jars on the bar. It was an actual, it was an idea from one of the staff members. They put 2 tip jars. One had Johnny Depp's face on it, and the other one had Amanda Heard. The tips in that bar increased by 3 times as soon as they put that in. So this is what really got me thinking about how I could put this into social media. And this is a lot of my practices that I do as well. It's not like I've just seen people do this online. I see people do it on a daily basis in multiple different businesses that I've had. And then I trial and test everything online to see if it works or it doesn't work. So everything you're reading in this mini course and I'm teaching you is proven. It's not like I've just read it in a book or I've watched a YouTube video. Like, this all works. So keep it easy and you'll see the taps go absolutely crazy. So put that one into practice. Let's move on. Just use 1 to 3 stories at a time. Now, this does work with most profiles. Some people have told me, and I've been proven wrong on this, and they said, oh, well, I post 10 stories and it all gets great engagement. Fantastic. If that works for you, then go for it. But I would really say that the high majority are just going to get swiped past, because I speak to people and I figure out what they do. Like, I quiz them on what they do on their social medias. So this is how I found out what people like and what they don't like. So with, 1 to 3 short stories, keep it short, keep it sweet, straight to the point. Every single one should have a call to action or something cool where they can interact with it. Light, clear messages. I see some people putting like endless text on a story. Really, people have only got 10, 15 seconds to read that, unless they're pausing it and they're going to read through it. Best, in my opinion, from experience, to put three stories, and each one has a smaller block of text. But if it's just text, people are going to get bored and they're going to click off. Let people interact and then move on. Don't be putting like 30-second videos or 45-second videos in the stories. This is when you see a big skip rate and a big drop-off rate as well. It's much better just give them the value, get them to engage, and then they can move on to the next one. So if you think that you're putting something a little bit too long and you're going on a little bit too much, then you probably are. So then just cut that down. But again, look at the metrics. Most people, even if they do look at metrics, they only really look at the post and the reels. Story metrics will give you everything you need to know. Skip rate, how many people went back. Look for that one as well. A lot of people, if people are going back on the story, it means that it's really engaging as well, and they want to see a little bit more. So definitely do this. One little tip I have, if you haven't picked it up already, how to grow on social media with AI was one of the other products that I have. I go into much more detail in terms of how you can add all your metrics and statistics into GPT, and it will tell you exactly what to do, so you don't have to do the thinking. So if you haven't got that, make sure you grab it afterwards. Let's move on. Posting stories before content. Warming up your account, super important. getting up them stories. If you are planning to post at 6 o'clock in the evening, make sure that you start posting stories around about 3 o'clock. Post one at 3, one at 4, one at 5. Because then if anyone's hit the one at 3 o'clock and they engaged with it, they're probably going to see the one at 4 o'clock as well. They're probably going to see the one at 5 o'clock. If that person is engaged with each individual one of them stories and they watched it all, as soon as you throw your reel out there, guess what they're going to see? Because you have told Instagram very recently that that person was interested in your content and engaged with it. So you're going to get instant engagement on that reel. This is a very brief kind of topic because we've already gone over it in other areas, but it is very important to do. So post the stories before you post content. Don't just fling out a post there and pray to God that it's going to work. Do this, stick to the system, and it will work. Use a gentle message in your story. Now, you've got your call to actions of get this course and everything else, but you don't always want to be like super direct, and you just really just want to get feedback. Now, I personally do this in a lot of my stories because I just generally enjoy giving people a little bit of context about it and also seeing if they enjoy it as well. So just by adding a little bit of a message, as you can see here as well, just shared this one, let me know if you relate. By putting that in, people will actually then reply to that story, which is incredibly powerful. It's even more powerful than the interaction. So a link click or, you know, a poll or anything like that, or the slider, if somebody actually replies specifically to your story, that's a level up on interaction because it shows Instagram that the person has spent more time actually doing it. So this is a really good way as well. I wouldn't do it too much. If you're doing this all the time, then people are going to kind of get wise to it and not really respond. So stick to the call to actions, the polls as much as possible. But every now and then throw this in if you just want a little bit more, you know, people talking about it, like new posters up, curious what you think. Then people will be like, oh, yeah, it was good, but you could have changed this, this, or this. They're helping with engagement. They're helping with feedback, and you're creating a bigger bond with that individual person as well. And then just the final one, just as a little bit of an example, your vote would really help on this one. So if you have got a call to action and it is really, really important, then tell people it's important. You know, I really need your help on this. And then you put your call to action underneath, as you see. Your vote would really help on this one. So communicate with them as well. Don't just put images up. Don't just put videos. People need to be told what to do on social media. They look at social media, they just keep swiping, they keep engaging. But if you tell them what to do, click here, help me out, I need help, or let me know this, 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 or this, they will do it. As long as you're not just like, click this button right now, you know, and kind of screaming at them. As long as you do it in a nice way, people will help you out, as long as you've been actually helping them out, commenting and stuff like that. So this is a little one, but it can make big changes, as I keep mentioning, compounding time over time. And really, it's working on your whole communication skills with your followers as well. Daily stories build trust with Instagram. They want you to be on the platform as much as possible. They don't like it when you just go in and post and disappear. So by keeping at least one story a day will keep your profile rolling, and rolling. So if you don't have the content, don't worry, just get a story out there. Builds trust with Instagram, but also builds trust with your followers as well. So if you're posting once a week and you don't really do anything else, this is a huge reason why you're not growing. Even if you post once or twice or 3 times a week, you're still probably not where you want to be on Instagram. You've probably seen these huge accounts that do it and they do really well. Yeah, they've got a huge budget behind, probably celebrities, etc. But if you're building a brand from the ground up, you've got to be in people's minds all the time, every single day posting. So whenever they log into Instagram, they always see your story. They can check in. And I really like to do with like behind the scenes. You know, people understand that you're a real human being behind the Instagram account as well. So lifestyle is what I see now doing fantastic. It is the trend. And when I talk about lifestyle, this does make me laugh. Like, please do not do like a day in the life. A day in the life clearly shows people that one day that's how you live, and the rest of the time you don't live like that. What really works well is generally just people seeing you out with friends, out with dinner. Like with me personally, when I'm with my family, if I post anything on my Instagram about me being with my family, it gets insane reach because people see me as a family man and things like that. So they really enjoy it. They know the rest of the time that it's either business, it's either kickboxing, it's sport, it's doing events, etc. You know, I show them a different part of me that they don't necessarily see. So this is why on a daily basis, if you've got anything really interesting, let's say you're going to an event, an Instagram growth event for a week, you 100% should be posting every single day on your stories, generally just being at that event. Don't talk for an hour, literally just keep people up to date. So then they can see that you're doing interesting things and they're buying into you as a person. They're not just buying into an Instagram account. So, and it's really easy. Every single person here will leave the house, or even if they don't leave the house, they can come up with something else, but they will have an interesting part of their day, even if it's just walking down the street and saying, hey guys, you know, I didn't want to wake up this morning, but I decided to wake up because I'm going to go and kill it out there and I want to become successful. That's all you need to post. These things are golden. People will look at it and be like, yeah, you go for it. And they're going to buy into you. You're going to get more trust with the followers as well. So if you haven't gotten any idea, have a think, but get yourself in front of the camera every day if possible. So one more reach poster poll first. I have spoken about this, and as I mentioned at the start of the course, I do tend to go off and have ideas while I'm looking at different things. So we have already touched on this quite a lot, but I want to explain a slightly different thing here as well. I'm not too sure if everyone knows this, but Meta as a company, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, etc., they have thousands of points of data on every single user, because every single poll that you've ever clicked at all, like, is all been registered. So this is how they know your buying patterns, etc., for the ads and everything else. So you can use that as well for your benefit. If you're going to put a poll, do it for if it's a new product, if it's a new reel, or anything like that, and record that information on every single poll that you get, because it might not be really valuable information now, but let's say that you just put a poll every single week on a Friday, on a Tuesday, for example, and you record all of them. After like 6 months, you might go through all the data on that and be like, oh, wow, I thought I should have been doing this with my profile, but I've actually just seen that most people actually voted for this. And then you can help to chop and change your strategy. So that's a really important one as well. Put the polls up sometimes, not all the time. This is not necessarily just for engagement. But if you put one for questions or things that you don't know what you're doing or you don't know how to do it, then put the poll out there, record that information, and you get valuable feedback from these people rather than spending money on going out there and doing the research yourself. End of module 3, key takeaways and action point. One thing that I want to go over a little bit more here is creating one reoccurring story segment. And you can see Monday poll, quick tip Friday. So this is difficult, but if you have got the time, I do highly recommend it, because it will get your followers knowing and remembering what you're doing on a weekly basis. So choose something like Monday, you post a poll. Tuesday, you post something funny. Wednesday, you post something else. Like, if you have a plan in place for your stories, it's going to make it a lot easier. And you only really need to spend, you know, an hour a week, if that. And, you know, on a Sunday is always a good time. And you just plan out your stories for the whole week. Then it just makes it a lot easier. We will get into content later, but what I find a lot is when posting stories or even doing reels as well, it's people like, okay, I need to post today. What do I need to post? Like, if you're doing that every day, the quality of content that you're going to be pushing out there is going to be a lot less. So as I mentioned, you know, you should be posting like daily stuff. You know, if you just take a video of what you're doing that day, then put it on. But it's also a really good plan to have a story strategy every single week from Monday to Sunday. It could be tips, it could be anything. And then you could just have a spreadsheet and then just add in images or what you kind of want to do on them specific days. So when you don't have any content to post, you already have that. And people don't need to know it's Poll Monday, for example. It depends on the business. It depends on the strategy that you're doing. But if you do that every day, it's going to make it much, much easier for you to plan out your content. So there we go. We finished module 3. You can go through all of these now and put them into practice, and see you in module 4.